Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are talking about one of the most important skills any educator can have, communicating with parents. The whole landscape has changed completely, so let's break down the essential toolkit you need to build those really powerful homeschool partnerships today.
Okay, just look at this difference. Think back. It really wasn't that long ago that parent communication was, kind of like a slow trickle. You'd get a note in the backpack, a report card, maybe that one big conference a year. But now, wow, it's a total flood. We've got emails, texts, class apps, virtual meetings, social media. The list just goes on. And sure, technology makes it easier to connect, but man, it's also made managing all that communication a huge, huge challenge.
But before we get totally lost in all the tech and the tools, let's just take a step back and remember what the real goal is here. This quote from a third grade teacher's letter home, it just gets right to the heart of it all. This isn't just about sending updates. It's about building a real relationship, one that's based on trust and the idea that you're both on the same team working for the same kid. Every single tool we're about to talk about should be working towards that.
So let's start building out that toolkit. First up, we're going to talk about one-way communication. Think of this as your broadcast channel. These are the tools you use to get information out there efficiently and to keep a big group of parents in the loop. It really sets the stage for everything else. The good old-fashioned newsletter is still a fantastic tool, but, and this is a big but, only if you do it right. The whole point is to create this feeling of connection to your classroom. So a few things to remember. Keep it brief. Seriously, one page is perfect. Mix it up with pictures and text. Give it a catchy title so people actually want to read it. And of course, always be professional. A quick spell check goes a long, long way. All right, now for the big one. Email. It's probably the most common tool we use, but it can also be the trickiest. So rule number one, have an email policy. Just let parents know when they can expect a response. Keep your messages friendly, to the point, and stick to the facts. And please, please, drop the educational jargon. But here's the most important thing to remember, and it's a big one. Emails are forever. They are a permanent record, they can be saved, they can be forwarded, so always take a breath and think before you hit send. And this right here, this applies to everything you write. Newsletters, emails, your class website, you name it. Is your message actually getting through to everyone? There's some fascinating research that shows a lot of the stuff schools send home is written at a really high reading level. The American Medical Association says patient info shouldn't be above a 6th grade level. The takeaway is simple. Use simple words, short sentences, and bullet points. The goal is clarity, not trying to sound like a textbook. Okay, so we've covered broadcasting out. Now let's level up. It's time to shift gears and talk about creating a real dialogue. This is where we go from just making announcements to having actual two-way conversations. This is where those strong, lasting partnerships are really forged. The parent-teacher conference. It's the classic two-way street, right? And it really doesn't have to be so stressful. If you follow these steps, it can be super productive. Get your notes and examples ready beforehand. Have a clear agenda so everyone knows the plan. And this is so important. Always, always start with the student's strengths. Then you can shift into asking questions and really, truly listening. And you never want to leave with a clear plan for what comes next, for you, the parent, and the student. Okay, here is a pro tip that can literally change everything about the parent-teacher dynamic. Think about it. Most of the time when the school calls, your heart just drops, right? It means there's a problem. So the advice here is to flip that script completely. Make a good news phone call. Just call to say, hey, your kid did something awesome today. It builds this amazing foundation of trust and goodwill before you ever have to call about a problem. It's a total game changer. Okay, so we have this great toolkit, but we all know it's not always that easy. In the real world, there are some pretty big hurdles that can get in the way of even the best communication plan. So let's get real for a minute and take a look at what those are. Just look at this number for a second. Over 90%. Let that sink in. What in the world could a number that high represent in education? Well, as it turns out, it points to a really fundamental disconnect in how we prepare our teachers. And there you have it. Nearly everyone who trains teachers agrees that these skills are absolutely essential. And yet, actual formal training on how to build partnerships with families is often missing from their programs. So what does that mean? It means most new teachers are just thrown into the deep end and have to figure out one of the most crucial parts of their job all on their own. Now, we've got to talk about a really tough but critical barrier that the research points to. Studies have found that a teacher's outreach patterns can sometimes differ depending on a student's race. For example, One big study showed that teachers were often more likely to call Black and Latino parents about behavior issues, but less likely to reach out to Asian parents about academic struggles, even when the student clearly needed help. So the key takeaway here, as this quote from the research makes so clear, is all about awareness. These patterns aren't necessarily about a student's actual behavior, but they can be influenced by these bigger societal stereotypes that we all absorb. The first and most important step to fixing this is for educators to just become aware of their own potential biases in communication habits. And of course, on top of all that, you've got these other huge hurdles: the constant lack of time for both teachers and parents, the technology gaps that can leave some families completely out of the loop, language differences, obviously, and sometimes you're up against a parent's own bad experiences with school from when they were a kid. That can build a wall before you even say hello. Okay, so seeing the barriers is step one. Now, let's talk about the path forward. What are the concrete, actionable things we can do to break through those barriers and build a great partnership with every single family? I love this. It's such a simple, practical checklist. On the start side, start surveying parents right away. Ask them how they want to communicate. Start building those positive relationships from day one, and start using different methods to reach people. And on the stop side, stop using that confusing jargon. Stop waiting for a problem to be your first point of contact, and stop assuming that one size fits all. And really, that brings us to the single biggest takeaway from all of this. There's no magic app, no perfect newsletter template. One size absolutely does not fit all. A newsletter might be perfect for one family, while a quick text is way better for another. The most effective strategy is just having a flexible plan that meets the different needs of all the families you serve. It's about meeting people where they are. When you think about it, every single interaction, every email, every call, every note you send home, it's a building block. It either makes the foundation of your partnership stronger or it chips away at it. Every single thing you do sets the stage for what comes next. So the only question left to ask is, what kind of partnership are you going to build today?